Yeah, I just got back watching Caught Stealing, which is directed by Doran Unfurwinski. Yeah, something like that. Don't correct me on that one. Who also directed The Whale, and bringing Austin Butler, known as Hank Thompson, who was once a rising star, to becoming a professional baseball player until a fatal accident that changed his life forever. Many years later, he became a bartender working in New York City, trying to move on from his glory days and especially dark ones. With a little help with booze and his girlfriend Yvonne, played by Zoe Kravitzy, I think that I pronounced that right, but one night his friend Roos asked him to take care of his cat for a couple of days so he could go visit his sick father at the hospital, until he had a few visitors looking for his so-called buddy. With no way finding him, he became the new target of the most wanted criminals in New York City. So is this movie good? I think it's good. I thought it was going to be mostly about action-packed. I thought it was going to be mostly about like a guy who is basically going to learn some moves and he's going to become the next, John Wick going, blaze of glory. But no, it's none of that. It's actually just some guy being a ridiculous dude who's been caught up in the most ridiculous way in bad situations that I never thought it was going to be like that. And there was a lot of twists and turns that even I thought that even some of them were ridiculous, but it was kind of his character, Austin Butler, who he is just a dude who is just trying to escape from his past and trying to move on, even though things just keep getting worse and worse for him. Austin Butler is one of the best characters in the film, and I think he makes up for the film majority of the time. And I do like a lot of the characters that have been playing in this film, like Zoe, who is played as Yvonne, who is basically the girlfriend. She's there, but not as much as I thought she would be. I thought she was going to be mostly going to be like one of the forefront and, like front of the center and kind of like, to rescue the damsel in distress. But no, actually, this is actually more interesting than I thought. And I'm actually shocked that I actually like Matt Smith as Roos, as one of this chaotic character who's just there just to mess around. And especially him playing that character, I didn't thought that was going to be him until I looked him up and I was like, oh, this is the character from Game of Thrones. It's actually kind of funny seeing him play this kind of character, and it's actually interesting. And to be honest, I kind of like the other characters too, like Bad Bunny, even like just as Colorado, who's basically this thug guy. Like, it is one of those movies that you thought when you see the trailer that it's gonna play out the way that it is, but it doesn't go out that way. Just a guy who just is escaping from his past and he has to face it. And obviously there is a lot of interesting ways how they go through this. And obviously there's other characters, but those are the ones that are the most interesting, at least for me, that they show up in the front. Obviously there is definitely twists and turns. It just grabs your attention all the time, especially when there's moments that even I was kind of shocked about. I can't believe this actually happened. But it plays very well to this guy who is basically just keeps running away from his past, and no matter what he does, it's always going to catch up to him unless he faces it back. It's just one of those movies that I actually thought was going to be very different. And I thought it was going to be one of those films that it was going to be action-packed. It's just about a guy who's going to be the most John Wick style. He's going to find a way to basically become this martial, or like basically fighting with all like street fighting, kind of like all explosives in the background. But no, it's not that kind of movie. It's just some guy who has been put in a role into being chased throughout New York City, and basically just him trying to survive and trying to escape his past. But no matter what he does, it keeps catching up to him until he has to face it. And it just really is just some guy just trying to outrun his past. I think it's a very satisfying movie to watch for sure. And I think this is why I'm definitely going to give it a B. I think it's one of those movies you could definitely watch, especially if you just want to see something interesting and kind of twisted moments that you wouldn't expect. And to be honest, I was kind of in it for the ride, and it just got my attention. I got what I wanted. It's more unexpected than I actually thought. And it definitely is not going to be one of those action-packed movies where, like Nobody and John Wick, or kind of like a mobster kind of like movies. It is just basically, it's just some guy trying to outrun his past, and no matter what he does, it just keeps getting worse. And it's kind of actually a unique way of just seeing these kind of films, and it plays out very well. The reason why I give it a B. In my opinion, this is a good watch. If you're looking for a movie about a person being in the wrong place at the wrong time, look no further. This is definitely the movie for you. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next movie review. Later, guys.